So let's move on now to some slides that I have prepared for you, and we'll take it to the next step. The question was, what do you think is the most important element for developing your personal brand? This was a survey made last year with a network called Elevate Network. And 41% were thinking about themselves as a thought leader, or they aspire to be a thought leader. So this is their attitude of being on developing their personal brand. 27% said, well, being great at my job. 12% said looking and dressing the part. And then someone else said down the line, well, heck if I know it. Or personal brand, who has the time for that? That was 3%. So this has clearly changed the attitude. How are people viewing a personal brand? So that's a snapshot of how personal brands are viewed at the moment. So the question is then that how do I start building my personal brand? Well, this is how I started. First of all, become active on top social media sites. What it means is that you look at LinkedIn, Instagram, and LinkedIn, very important because there is an area where you are on, you can join groups, you can join discussions there and give your input. You should also look at opening up your Facebook page, not only your social profile, but in fact a Facebook page, because this gives you a chance eventually, if you can start to analyze the people who are coming in. You have more tools in the Facebook page to think it like from the business point of view, and they have better analytics, and also you can do more. In fact, if you want to get into advertising, this is your chance to create some advertising, because to grow organically on Facebook is very difficult these days. You need to place a few dollars into the advertising in order to make it work. Very important also to open up your Instagram account, not only the Instagram personal account, but your Instagram business account. And I will separately, I have made some shows about Instagram, how to do it, particularly focusing on writing your profile, which is very, very important. But also a feature in Instagram is also the stories, where the idea with the stories is that you bring your followers and your friends along to show your every day. So it's more about the entertainment and so on, and show you what's happening behind the scenes and what activities you're doing on a daily basis. So this is a very popular way how Instagram works. And the engagement on Instagram, it's much higher than in most other platforms, depending on what format you're using. For LinkedIn, write-ups, podcasts, and short videos that creates a lot of engagement if you're providing some good content over there. The next step is that you open up your own personal website. And in that way, you can start to create some sort of a reason why you are there, create a mission for yourself and what you want to represent. And you can link your social medias and drive your visitors to your social media to your website. Websites are very easy to build these days. You don't need to hire anybody. They're ready-made templates. And this is something that you are recommended to do to get started. It's worthwhile to pay a little bit about getting a decent domain name and also a website service provider for yourself, that you have a secured site for yourself. Another thing, start blogging. You don't have to write long stories. You just put some thoughts into it. The topic is what your passion is, and you distribute that blog into various areas like LinkedIn. You can, particularly LinkedIn has several groups, different kind of groups, depending on what your interests are. If you're on the hotel side, hotel sites, hotel industry has numerous groups, and I belong to about 4 or 5 of them. And I share my blogs in there, and also share other information. And also I talk about what are things that we should concentrate on when we are talking about how to grow our brand, and whether it's about creating that better engagement and interaction with our customers. The thing is, the final thing is a podcasting. Podcasting you can do by recording your live video so it becomes a podcast. That's one way of doing it. Another way is that I'm using, I only do some mini podcasts. And I use something called Anchor FM, which is very easy to use. You can use your mobile phone to record your podcast, and it lasts only for 4 or 5 minutes. You can upload this podcast to the major podcast networks, like the Apple's podcast. There are several, so you can distribute these episodes. And this is a way around the theme that you can become more well known. So here you can see what we covered, a number of areas. We covered the social media areas, where you should be there. Also, where you should have presence in Facebook pages, Instagram, LinkedIn. I mentioned that from a professional point of view. Create your own domain name to have your personal website. It's not a must, but I think it will help to have a website. Do start regular blogging, and you can use a WordPress for your blogs, and that's why I would put a website where you can park your blogs in there and promote them through different social media. And finally is the mini podcast.